Rimuru go back in time by Rimu-chi. Fight between Milim and Carrion. 7 days before Rimuru returned to Tempest. The skies above Eurazania darkened as an oppressive aura descended upon the Beast Kingdom. Citizens paused their daily activities as a figure appeared in the sky, her overwhelming presence enough to send shivers down even the bravest warrior's spine. Milim Nava, the demon lord known as the Destroyer, hovered with an unsettling grin on her face, her draconic aura exuding raw, destructive power. Beast King Carrion, sensing the disturbance, quickly emerged from his palace, flanked by his loyal Beastketeers. Milim, with a mischievous smile, "Oi, Carrion. I've got something fun to tell you." Carrion's golden eyes narrowed as he stepped forward, his massive frame radiating authority. Carrion, Milim, what is the meaning of this? Why have you come here uninvited? Milim, mocking, uninvited. That's no way to greet an old friend. Her tone shifted suddenly, her expression hardening. I'm here to declare war. The Beastketeers tensed, their instincts telling them something was off. Albus, Sufia, and Phobio exchanged uneasy glances, sensing the sheer malice behind Milim's words. Carrion, declare war. On Eurazania. Are you serious? Milim, dead serious. She crossed her arms, a dark edge to her usually carefree demeanor. 1 week from now, I'll return to lay waste to your kingdom. If you lose, Carrion, I'll destroy everything, your people, your lands, your legacy. Eurazania will be nothing but ashes. Carrion growled, his claws flexing in frustration. Carrion, Milim, what's gotten into you? This isn't like you. Have you gone mad, or is someone pulling your strings? Milim laughed, the sound eerily devoid of warmth. Milim, mockingly, who cares? A demon lord's will is absolute, isn't it? All you need to know is that Eurazania's time is up. Unless, she leaned forward, her eyes glinting. You're strong enough to stop me. Carrion clenched his fists, his pride as a demon lord refusing to let him show weakness. Carrion, do you think you can intimidate me, Milim? I won't run, and I won't bow. If it's a fight you want, then so be it. Eurazania will not fall without a fight. Milim's grin widened, her wings flaring out dramatically. Milim, good answer. I'd be disappointed if you rolled over without a fight. Well then, prepare yourself, Carrion. In 1 week, I'll return to see if you can entertain me. Without waiting for a reply, Milim turned and shot into the sky, leaving behind an oppressive silence. The people of Eurazania watched in fear as their king stood firm, his expression grim. The Beastketeers approached cautiously. Albus, Your Majesty, this isn't like Milim. Could she be under someone's influence? Sufia, even so, her power is real. If she truly attacks in a week, it could mean the end of Eurazania. Carrion's gaze remained fixed on the horizon where Milim had disappeared. Carrion, something isn't right, but it doesn't matter. Prepare the defenses and evacuate the citizens. I won't let her destroy everything I've built. Not without a fight. The Beastketeers nodded, their determination mirroring Carrion's resolve. Despite their fear of Milim's power, they steeled themselves for the battle to come. Week later, Carrion stood on the highest balcony of his palace, overlooking the bustling evacuation of Eurazania's citizens. Despite their confusion and fear, they moved quickly under his orders. The Beast King's golden eyes hardened as he scanned his kingdom, knowing the coming battle would determine its fate. His loyal Beastketeers, Albus, Sufia, and Phobio, stood behind him, their expressions resolute. Albus, Your Majesty, the citizens are nearly evacuated. But we won't let you face Milim alone. This is our home too. We will fight by your side. Sufia, we can't abandon you, Carrion. You'll need us if you're going to stand a chance against her. Phobio, angrily, let me at her. I can take her down. Carrion turned, his voice firm but calm. Carrion, no. This is my battle. Sufia, but Your Majesty. Carrion cutting her off, enough. I won't risk your lives. Milim is beyond anything you can handle. This is a fight between demon lords. Your job is to protect our people and ensure their safety. The Beastketeers exchanged reluctant glances but ultimately bowed their heads in respect. Albus, softly, as you command, Your Majesty. Carrion's voice softened, a rare display of vulnerability. Carrion, trust me. I'll do everything I can to protect our kingdom. The Beastketeers left, their hearts heavy. The Beastketeers successfully led the citizens to safety. However, knowing that Carrion was facing Milim alone, they couldn't sit idly by. Against their king's orders, they made their way to Tempest, hoping to enlist Rimuru's help. When they reached the border of Tempest, a powerful barrier suddenly stopped them. Far away, they could see the battleground where Carrion and Milim would soon clash. Phobio punching the barrier, damn it. We have to get through. Carrion needs us. Albus touching the barrier, frowning, this barrier, it's keeping us out on purpose. Someone doesn't want us interfering. Sufia, angrily, who would dare? Doesn't Milim understand what she's doing? The three Beastketeers could only watch in helpless frustration as the clash between two demon lords began. The battle between Carrion and Milim. The battlefield was eerily quiet as Carrion stood alone, his golden mane gleaming in the sunlight. He had transformed into his beast form, a towering lion with crackling golden energy radiating from his body. Across from him stood Milim Nava, her carefree demeanor replaced by an unsettling smirk. Milim, well, Carrion. I hope you're ready. I've been waiting for this all week. Carrion, growling, Milim, this isn't you. Whatever's controlling you, I'll put an end to it. Milim tilted her head, her draconic wings spreading wide. Milim, mockingly, controlling me. That's funny. I'm just having some fun. Now, let's see what you've got. Without warning, Milim launched herself forward, a shockwave of energy following in her wake. Carrion barely managed to dodge as her fist slammed into the ground, creating a massive crater. Carrion, snarling, you've left me no choice. He roared, unleashing a massive beam of energy toward Milim. The attack lit up the sky, but Milim effortlessly swatted it aside, her grin widening. Milim, is that all? You'll have to do better than that, kitty. Carrion roared again, closing the distance between them. He swiped with his massive claws, but Milim countered with her bare hands, each impact shaking the earth. The two demon lords clashed repeatedly, their blows sending shockwaves across the battlefield. After several minutes of intense combat, Carrion was visibly struggling. His breathing was labored, and his movements had slowed. Meanwhile, Milim looked as if she hadn't broken a sweat. Carrion, panting, damn it, she's toying with me. Milim suddenly stopped, her eyes gleaming with a dangerous light. Milim, alright, Carrion. Let's end this, shall we? I'll show you why they call me the Destroyer. She raised her hand, gathering an enormous sphere of energy, the Dragon Nova. The sky darkened as the immense power threatened to obliterate everything in its path. Carrion's eyes widened as he braced himself, but Milim's target wasn't him. Instead, the Dragon Nova veered past him and slammed into the heart of Eurazania. The resulting explosion was catastrophic, erasing the nation from existence in a blinding flash of light. Two mountains on the horizon crumbled, splitting cleanly in half. Carrion stood frozen, his breath caught in his throat as he witnessed the devastation. Carrion, thinking, so, this is the power of Milim Nava, the Destroyer. What hope does anyone have against her? Before he could react, Frey descended from the sky. Unlike the usual Frey, there was a cold determination in her gaze. Frey, you've lost, Carrion. There's no need to resist anymore. She moved swiftly, pressing a dagger to Carrion's neck. Carrion glared at her but made no attempt to move. Carrion, Frey, why are you doing this? Frey didn't answer. Instead, she wrapped her arms around Carrion, and the two vanished into thin air. From a distance, it appeared as though Frey had killed Carrion, as Milim's illusions took hold of any witnesses. The magic showed the conclusion of the battle, Milim destroying Eurazania and Frey arriving to finish Carrion. Satisfied with the illusion she and Frey had crafted, Milim turned, her expression calm but unreadable. She soared into the sky, heading toward Clayman's domain to continue her charade. Meanwhile, the true events remained hidden, Frey and Carrion disappearing to unknown lands while the illusion of his death cemented Milim's supposed betrayal. Frey's domain. In a flash of light, Frey and Carrion appeared in Frey's luxurious domain, high above the clouds. Carrion, still disoriented from the sudden teleportation, took a deep breath before glaring at Frey. Carrion, angrily, Frey. What's the meaning of this? Why did you save me? Why did Milim destroy Eurazania? And why is one of Rimuru's fiancés interfering in this war? Frey's calm demeanor didn't waver as she took a seat at her desk, gesturing for Carrion to do the same. Frey, Carrion, calm down. There are things you don't know, things I need to explain. Carrion didn't sit but crossed his arms, his golden eyes burning with anger and confusion. Carrion, then start talking. Frey sighed, leaning back in her chair. Frey, Milim is under Clayman's control. He's using her as his pawn to create chaos and further his own ambitions. Carrion's fists clenched. Carrion, control. How? Milim is one of the strongest demon lords. How could she be controlled so easily? Frey hesitated but quickly masked her thoughts. She couldn't reveal that Milim wasn't controlled and was merely acting to provoke Rimuru into a fight. Frey, Clayman is cunning. I don't know all the details, but I suspect he's using some ancient artifact or technique to influence her mind. That's why I saved you. I couldn't let him succeed in eradicating another demon lord. Carrion's gaze softened slightly, though suspicion remained in his voice. Carrion, and why risk yourself for me? What's your angle in all this? Frey's expression softened, and she stood, walking toward Carrion. Frey, because you're important to Rimuru, my beloved husband. He considers you a friend. I won't let Clayman's schemes destroy that bond. Carrion's eyes widened briefly, then he looked away, his tone gruff. Carrion. Rimuru. Damn. I owe him a lot. If what you're saying is true, then I'll play along. But what's the plan? Frey smiled faintly and pulled out a golden mask from her desk, handing it to Carrion. Frey, this mask will help conceal your identity. For now, you'll remain hidden here in my domain. Soon, the Walpurgis banquet will be called. When that happens, you'll come with me as my subordinate, a scout. It's the safest way for you to observe and eventually confront Clayman. Carrion studied the mask, then nodded. Carrion, fine. I'll go along with this. But if Milim's really under his control, I'm going to make sure Clayman pays. Frey, softly, as will I. Frey turned toward the door and clapped her hands. Moments later, one of her servants entered, a graceful harpy with silver feathers and sharp, intelligent eyes. Frey, show Lord Carrion to his quarters. He is my guest and a friend of mine. Treat him with the utmost respect. The servant bowed. Servant, as you wish, Lady Frey. Lord Carrion, please follow me. Carrion gave Frey one last glance before following the servant out of the room. As the door closed, Frey leaned against her desk, letting out a soft sigh. Alone in her office, Frey's composed mask began to crack. She closed her eyes, her fingers brushing against her lips as a faint blush crept onto her cheeks. Frey, thinking, Rimuru. I wonder how you'd react if you knew what I was doing. Would you be proud? Or would you scold me? She crossed her arms, her mind wandering to thoughts of Rimuru's gentle smile, his kind eyes, and the way he seemed to effortlessly unite those around him. Frey, thinking, you've stolen my heart completely, Rimuru. Even as a demon lord, I feel powerless before you. Her blush deepened as her thoughts turned more romantic, and dangerously close to passionate. She quickly shook her head, trying to clear her mind. Frey, thinking, focus, Frey. Focus what you doing. That's what matters most right now. Still, a faint smile lingered on her lips as she turned back to her desk, her resolve strengthening. In Tempest. It had been 8 weeks and 3 days since the destruction of Eurazania. The gates of Tempest opened to reveal the weary and determined Beastketeers, Albus, Sufia, and Phobio. Despite their exhaustion from the long journey, their loyalty to their king, Carrion, and their people fueled their resolve. They were greeted by Tempest's soldiers, who exchanged glances of curiosity and caution. One of Rimuru's subordinates, a sharp-eyed hobgoblin scout, approached them. Scout. You are the Beastketeers of Eurazania, correct? Albus, bowing politely, yes, we've come seeking an audience with Lord Rimuru. Scout, nodding, very well. Please follow me. The scout led the three through Tempest's vibrant streets, where the citizens, always welcoming, now carried an air of curiosity and concern. Eventually, they reached the central palace and were escorted to a large meeting room. In the meeting room. Inside the meeting room, Rimuru sat at the head of the table, surrounded by his fiancés, Shizu, Shion, Shuna, Kaguli, Mayoran, Soka, Rain, Goblina, and Gabwa. His closest subordinates, Benimaru, Diablo, Hekuro, Geld, and Rigurd, were also present. The doors opened, and the Beastketeers entered. They bowed deeply before speaking. Albus, humbly, Lord Rimuru, we apologize for visiting so suddenly, but we desperately need your help. Rimuru smiled gently and gestured for them to stand. Rimuru, it's okay. Please, explain what's happened. Inwardly, Rimuru already knew everything because he come back in time itself, but he feigned ignorance to avoid arousing suspicion. Sufia, earnestly, Milim Nava, the demon lord, declared war on our kingdom. A week later, she destroyed Eurazania. Our king, Lord Carrion, fought bravely, but we were powerless to help. Phobio clenched his fists, his anger bubbling to the surface. Phobio, yelling, and Demon Lord Frey. She was there. We saw her kill Lord Carrion. She betrayed us, and you're just sitting here doing nothing. The room fell silent as Rimuru's subordinates glared at Phobio. Shion stood up, her aura crackling with anger. Shion, how dare you raise your voice at Lord Rimuru? Benimaru, sternly, watch your tone. You're in no position to make accusations. Rimuru raised his hand, stopping their outburst. Rimuru, calm down, everyone. Let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. He turned to Phobio, his calm demeanor silencing the Beastketeer's anger. Rimuru, Carrion is alive. The Beastketeers froze, disbelief written on their faces. Albus, hesitant, alive. But we saw, Frey. Rimuru, don't ask how he alive, and destroying Eurazania is part of Clayman's scheme to awaken himself as a true demon lord and killing me. He's using Milim to spread chaos, but don't worry, we'll put a stop to it. The room was quiet as the weight of Rimuru's words sank in. After a moment, Albus bowed deeply. Albus, thank you, Lord Rimuru. Until this matter is resolved, may we seek refuge here for our people. Rimuru nodded. Rimuru, of course. The citizens of Eurazania are welcome in Tempest. We'll ensure they're protected. He turned to a nearby subordinate. Rimuru, take them to the guest quarters and see to it they're provided with food and rest. The subordinate bowed and escorted the Beastketeers out of the room. The inner council. With the Beastketeers gone, Rimuru turned to his closest allies. Rimuru, now that they're settled, let's talk about what's next. Everyone leaned in, sensing the gravity of his tone. Rimuru, Clayman's plan is clear. He's pushing for Walpurgis to kill me and this for Awaken as a true demon lord. But to stop him and protect our people, I'll need to do the same. There was a moment of silence as his words sank in. Then, Benimaru spoke up, his voice steady. Benimaru, if that's your decision, Rimuru-sama, we'll support you. Diablo, grinning, how exciting. Lord Rimuru becoming a demon lord, it's only fitting. The others nodded in agreement, their loyalty unwavering. Shuna, softly, we believe in you, Rimuru-sama. Rimuru, smiling, thank you. Now, let's prepare. There's a lot to do before the Walpurgis banquet. The meeting adjourned, and everyone returned to their duties. Rimuru, however, couldn't help but feel a twinge of anticipation. The coming days would be critical, and the road to becoming a demon lord would change everything again. But this time bit deference. As he walked toward his quarters, he glanced out at Tempest, his determination solidified. Rimuru, thinking Clayman won't know what hit him.